Hey everyone, my name is Tori and today's video is going to be my July empties. So all of the products that I used up in the month of July. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with hand soaps, and all three of these are gentle foaming hand soaps from Bath & Body Works. I have Lavender Marshmallow, Winter, and Pink Petal Teacake. So Pink Petal Teacake and Lavender Marshmallow are both springtime fragrances. I think I got them maybe last year. And then Winter is, of course, a winter or holiday seasonal fragrance. Winter is spiced orange, fir balsam, and clove buds. This is a very fresh, almost kind of citrusy fragrance. I really feel like you get that feeling of like it's cold outside with this fragrance. I love this for during the holiday season and just whenever it gets cold outside. And Pink Petal Teacake is pink rose petals, pound cake, vanilla glaze. So it kind of smells like a very sweetened rose. It wasn't my absolute all-time favorite, but it was just okay for me. But yeah, I feel like if you took like a little bit of rose and a little bit of vanilla and kind of mixed it, it seems like it would be like right up my alley, but it just wasn't my all-time favorite, but it was pretty good. And then Lavender Marshmallow. This is lavender, vanilla marshmallow, and warm amber. I feel like this is a very soft, like sweetened lavender and not just straight up lavender. You definitely feel that marshmallow undertones. It's a little more warm than just regular lavender. I really like this. This is definitely one that I would repurchase. And I really liked the color of the soap. It was like this really, really pretty light lavender color. So this is just a really pretty bottle too. I really like this. I would definitely repurchase. Next up, I have a candle from Bath & Body Works, and this is a 3-wick candle, so one of the big ones. This is in the fragrance Cinnamon Sugar Donut, and I think I got this one in the springtime as well, though I think this is a year-round fragrance that you can get. I think it's called Cinnamon Spiced Vanilla. It's called something else, but I'm pretty sure they smell the same. I love the packaging on this. I love the purple. Purple's one of my favorite colors, and I love donuts, so this was just great. The wax color was a really pretty light lavender, lilac-y purple as well. The notes in here are old-fashioned donut, crushed nutmeg, and white cinnamon. So I feel like this is something that if you wanted to dabble in baked good candles, this is where I would start, because you still get that cinnamon. It's still really sweet, but it's not so sweet that it's like sickeningly syrupy sweet. It just has like a nice light sweet cinnamon fragrance to it. It definitely smells like something's baking, but in the best way. It smells so good. This is one that I used to be completely obsessed with, like back in the day. I'm not as obsessed with it as I used to be, but I still really, really love it. This has a great scent throw as well. It's not overpoweringly strong like Winter or Leaves or Fresh Balsam, but it's definitely kind of like a medium strength candle. It smells really good. I really like this one, and I would definitely repurchase it. I also really love that this lid was solid black. I think that looks really nice. Next up, I have 2 body washes. One is the Dove Dryness Relief with jojoba oil, and this one was just okay. The actual formula was fine. It felt like a very stereotypical like liquid soap. It was creamier than just regular soap, so it's not like a gel. It was an opaque, creamy formula. I didn't love the fragrance. I just don't like it. It's like, it smells very, very perfumey. I would prefer just the regular classic Dove bar of soap fragrance, but this I feel like they went a little overboard on the perfumey fragrance of it, so for that reason I wouldn't repurchase, but the formula was fine. This one I would not repurchase. This is the Nivea Nourishing Body Wash with Nourishing Serum, and I did not like this. The thing I could not get past, the smell. This smells like, straight up, it smells like an airplane bathroom. Just like the "we cleaned this" smell. You know, does that make sense? Like when you go into a porta potty and it smells clean because they cleaned it. That's what it smells like. It smells like an airplane bathroom. Yeah, it just doesn't smell great, and I couldn't get past that for what. And that's probably just me. Like, that's a weird me thing, but I just could not get past the fragrance of this. Beyond that, yeah, it was more of an in-shower lotion. I mean, it says Nourishing Body Wash with Nourishing Serum, but I feel like it was more Nourishing Serum than body wash. It didn't lather up at all. My husband really didn't like this because it didn't feel like it was like cleaning. It didn't feel like a soap. You know, it didn't have any like foaming action or anything. I use this as, again, like an in-shower body lotion. I'd shave my legs and I would put this over top, and I felt like it was almost enough moisture to where I didn't have to put lotion on my legs afterwards, but I still could put lotion on my legs afterwards because it wasn't too thick. So somewhere in between those. It was just kind of a weird in-between product where it wasn't quite the in-shower body lotion, but it also wasn't quite a body wash. So it just didn't really have a place in our shower. So I would not repurchase this. Next up in here is a dry shampoo, and I've used up a million of these in the past. This is the Batiste Instant Hair Refresh Dry Shampoo, and this one's in the fragrance Floral and Flirty Blush. So I tend to buy mine in the giant bottle because I use it all the time and I go through them so quickly and it's my favorite. I'll just buy one giant bottle at a time. This one's the 13 ounces or 13.46 fluid ounces. I got it at TJ Maxx for $8.99 and that's usually where I buy these. Recently I bought it on Amazon because I didn't want to go to a TJ Maxx right now. You know, I figure if I can get it online then I'm going to do that instead of going in store if I don't have to. So I wasn't able to find this size for this price online. So I don't know. I don't know if that's just a TJ Maxx thing. I'm not sure. But yeah, I love to buy this in the big one because I love it so much. And it smells really good. It smells really, smells more floral. I also like the one in the yellow bottle. Like the tropical fragrance is good too. It has a little bit of a white cast, but that's fine because my hair is blonde. But if you have darker hair than me, then you might not want to go for this one. I would maybe try their one that they make for brunettes instead. I can't really speak to that. But other than that, this is a great dry shampoo and I would definitely repurchase. I will continue to repurchase. This next item is a skincare product, and you've seen this one before. This is the DRMTLGY Broad Spectrum SPF 45 Anti-Aging Sunscreen. It's like a moisturizer with sunscreen. I originally saw this because I saw it on Dr. Dre's channel. She recommended it. I'll link her channel down below. She's a dermatologist and she has a YouTube channel and she goes through and reviews skincare products. And it's really cool because I feel like I've learned so much from her from a doctor's perspective on, you know, products that are marketed to you because they're trendy or it's a fad, you don't really need them. Like, she talks about ingredients. It's really cool and very educational, and I feel like I've learned a lot from her. So I love this sunscreen. It's like a sunscreen moisturizer combo. I love this for days that I'm wearing makeup. I have come to find that I don't love it as much for days when I'm not wearing makeup, and I feel like this is a new perspective that I have on this product because I've shown this in an Empties before, semi-recently, a couple months ago, because I use sunscreen every day, so I went through it pretty quickly. But I was wearing makeup every day during that time, and now I'm not wearing makeup every day and I'll just wear sunscreen. This has a very, very slight, almost undetectable sort of white cast, but I do have very fair skin, so I feel like that's kind of saying a lot. I find that this left my face feeling just a slight bit tacky, which is not necessarily a problem when I'm applying makeup on top of it. It doesn't bother me, it's fine. But when I'm not wearing makeup, it just felt a little sticky, and I just didn't like that feeling on my face. So now I actually use this. This is not an empty, but this is the Australian Gold Mineral Lotion SPF 50. It's tinted. It's like, I think it's the lightest one. It's like fair to light. Yeah. And I use this every day when I'm not wearing makeup, and I love this so much. If I am wearing makeup, then I will use this one. So I feel like these are probably two products I'm going to go ahead and just keep in my like lineup of skincare stuff because I feel like they serve different purposes for me. But yeah, I would definitely repurchase this. I have repurchased this. This is my second one and that's my third one. I love it. Would definitely recommend. Very gentle on your skin. I believe it's a mineral sunscreen, which is why I can put it like on my eyes, and if you sweat it doesn't irritate your eyes. It's just so good. I really, really like this. Next up, I have a brow gel, and this is the NYX Control Freak Clear Brow Gel. I've talked about this before on my channel, and this is a product that I like, but I don't absolutely love. For example, the brow gel that I absolutely love is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. I feel like that brow gel just holds your brows in place like so well. It's like super glue for your brows in the best way. This one I feel like is not quite that strength, which might be your preference. For me, I prefer to have something that's like stronghold gel in my brows. I have pretty long brow hairs. But yeah, so this was fine though. Like it works, it's fine. It's not, again, it's not my absolute favorite, but it is something I would repurchase. For example, when I run out of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel, I bought it for my wedding. When I run out of that, I might go ahead and just repurchase this one just because it's less expensive. The difference isn't like so huge that I would spend the additional money, but then again, I think if I had a coupon, maybe. If the timing lines up, I might buy the ABH one with the coupon. Who knows? I would be happy with either one, I guess is what I'm saying, but it's a good product. I would recommend it. Next up is a Perfume Empty, and this is like the little travel size spray of the Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. I really like this perfume. This actually reminds me a lot of my college roommate because this was like her signature scent for the longest time. This is a very citrusy vibe. I feel like this smells so summery. It's a little sweet but very citrus, so I feel like this is the perfect summer fragrance. I really do like this. I feel like I like it more now than I used to. Again, I think my scent preferences are changing. I think I'm getting away from like the sickeningly sweet vanillas and a little more into like a fresh floral citrus situation, but I still like sickeningly sweet vanillas. I guess it's just I'm broadening my horizons on what I like in fragrance now. I would definitely recommend trying it out if you're into very fresh citrusy fragrances. This is pretty good. And I love that this travel size had a spray on it and not a roller ball. I just feel like the spray works so much better than like rolling it on, you know? I would repurchase it, but I have other perfumes that I need to go through before I would repurchase something new. These last 3 products in here are all makeup, and they're not quite empties, but I'm getting rid of them. So let me kind of explain what's going on. So this first one is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm pretty sure this is super old. This is one of their brow powders, and this is in the shade Ash Blonde / Taupe. So it has 2 colors in it. Taupe's on one side and Ash Blonde is on the other. I don't know if they sell this anymore, or maybe they sell products like this, but it's a little different. I'm really not sure. I like that it has a mirror on one side, so it's just like this tiny cute little compact, and I had the little spoolie brush with the brush on one end and the spoolie on the other, and I would just fill in my brows with this brow powder. I used to use this, like, I mean, I used it a lot. The dip's pretty big. It's pretty significant on both sides. I would mix them a lot of times. I just don't use it anymore. I'm more into brow pencils. Right now I'm trying to use a brow pomade that I've had for a while, and I just didn't use. I'm trying to get more use out of the brow pomade that I've had for a while, and I prefer brow pencils overall. So just my preferences have changed. I used to only use brow powder before I discovered pencils, and that was that. So I've had this for a really long time. I feel like it's time to either pass it on or get rid of it because it is very old at this point. I think it's time. I just think it's time for it to go. I think it's a great brow powder. I don't necessarily think it's something you absolutely have to have, but you could probably get the same result with a single eyeshadow. I don't know, but I did really like this for the time that I had it. It was the only brow product that I had for a really, really long time, so but it's time for it to go. Next thing in here is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte 16-Hour Powder. Yeah, I don't know if this is marketed as a foundation or just a finishing powder. I use this as a setting powder all over my face. This is actually in the shade 100 Porcelain. This is the lightest shade that they have, and I wish that they had 1 to 2 shades lighter. So I feel like this is not my perfect shade match. It's still like a touch too dark, but after bronzer and everything, I can kind of make it work, but I don't know. I just wish it was a little lighter. This powder is fantastic. I love it. I've been through so many of these. Usually when it gets down to a pan like this, I will end up putting it in my purse, or I'll take it to work and leave it in my desk drawer, and I'll just use it for touch-ups. And then once it gets kind of like old and gross, then I'll get rid of it. So now that it's at that point, this is going to graduate from my vanity to go to my purse, and it will live out the rest of its life there. But I love this powder for setting everything. I love it for touch-ups throughout the day. I just think it's really great. It's got a mirror in the bottom, and it has a little sponge that goes with it. So this is just fantastic. I feel like it really does do a great job of keeping me matte without making me look cakey and powdery and gross. So I've gone through so many of these, and I would purchase it again. My last product in here is the Tarte Park Ave Princess Chisel Palette. So I have pan in 2 shades in here. It's the 2 lightest shades on the end there. And I've used these shades. Doesn't really look like it, but I have. I mostly use this Princess Cut shade for contouring, and then I'll use these 2 lighter shades for underneath the eyes, for brightening, for blending, whatever. And then I've mixed some of these bronzer shades and actually used them as bronzer. The only thing is, I feel like my opinion on this has changed only because I think the way that I do my makeup and kind of my preferences has changed. So I think I may have included this in a Best of Beauty, and I still stand by that. Like, it's still a good product, but I think that for me, I don't use it as much as I did at one point, and then as much as I thought I would in my future. I don't know if that really makes sense. I think because I thought like, oh, this is great because it has some darker bronzers for when I have like a self tan. It's got some lighter bronzers for when I don't. It's got a contour shade. It's got highlight. It really has everything that I would need for my skin tone for the most part. I don't go for the palette. You know, when I have a spray tan or a self tan on, I'll just use one of my darker bronzers that I have, like a single pan. I don't reach into this one for the darker bronzers like I thought that I would, or like I have when I first got it. So I don't really use it as much as I should, I feel like, for a palette that's this large. I've also gone through these highlight shades in here, like there's Major Pan in both of them, and at this point I don't want it to get so old that someone else couldn't use the other half of it, or more than half of it, the rest of the darker shades. I like the Chisel shade in here for contouring, but I have another contour powder, and it's in a single pan, and I feel like if I wanted to contour, I could just use that, and I don't need this big palette. I also have another palette. It's the Smashbox Cali contour palette, and that palette has a lighter like yellow tone highlight shade, matte highlight shade, and then it also has a like cool tone contour shade. And whenever I need to contour or highlight, I find myself reaching for that one because it's smaller, and those are the only two contour and highlight shades in the palette. So my whole point is before this gets old, I want to give it to my sister, because I know my sister would love this and use it, because she has this and I think she's hit pan in some of the darker shades. So I mean, I'm just gonna give it to her and she can use the rest of it, and it'll be someone else can love and use it up all the way, you know. My sister has like olive tone, really tan skin. She tans really easily, so it's so funny, we're so opposite. I have very fair skin, light hair, light eyes, and she has like darker skin, dark hair, dark eyes, which is kind of fun because we can, like, you know, I can give her this kind of stuff and she can use it, and if she has something that's too light for her, she can give it to me. It works out. Anyway, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and pass this on to her because I think she'll really enjoy using it and she'll actually use the rest up. Yeah, those are all of my empties for the month of July. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.